Hey guys, this is Luis Salgado, Lyft Ambassador of the New York, New Jersey region. And today I have a special video. As you can see, I'm in my car, in my Prius, and I am in Ottawa. I've been doing some vacationing, some snowboarding. I'm a snowboarder. And I wanted to talk about a couple of things that the Lyft drivers here in Canada are going to need to know in the next couple of days when they sign up for Lyft. By the way, if you haven't subscribed or liked these videos, this is a good time to do so. At the bottom of this, in the description below, I'm going to also have the links for all of you guys that want to sign up to drive with Lyft or with Uber or the rest of the other apps that are out there in the world, and take advantage of all the resources that this channel has to offer for you. So right now, as you see in the screen, it says that in Ottawa, and here in Canada's capital, Lyft is not available yet. So, and that's true. So basically, I'm just showing you how the app works, and this is the passenger app. Let's go to the driver app, right? And it'll say the same thing. It'll basically say that I'm out of range, right? What I'm going to show you, it's within the app, is going to help you be able to set up all the things that you need to set up as a new driver. I wish you could see the beautiful view that I'm seeing here. I'm here in Dow's Lake, and this is in Ottawa, center of Ottawa. And here is the biggest ice skating rink in the world. And my son and my wife, they're right now ice skating there. And I thought that I would do a little video to explain all these things to you. Now, one of the first things that as a driver I needed to do, and this was very important, I needed to do when I was driving, is get familiar with my navigation skills and my navigation app. And you will be able to pick which navigation app you can use. In the case of Lyft, we have several options. Okay, so you see we're now in the navigation screen, and it says navigation, of course, and then it says navigation again, and there's on the right hand side there's a little arrow with the navigation options. When you press on that, it gives you the options that we have for the Lyft app. So we have Waze, and here we have Google Maps, and we also have the Lyft navigation that I've seen. I think they're trying in other markets, but here right now, these are the two navigation apps that you can choose. They also have Apple Maps at certain moment, but they don't have it listed in this list anymore. So these are the navigation apps that you can use, and I suggest that you pick the one that you're the most familiar with. It's going to save you so much time, and it's going to make your experience, especially the first week and the first days of driving, is going to make the experience so much better. I suggest that you use whatever navigation app you're going to use, that you use it for your private use, so that you become very, very, very familiar with the app, and that way, when it comes time to pick up passengers, right? It's a little more complicated when you have passengers there. Then you're so familiar with the app that it becomes second nature. So, like I said right here, you can press that button right there, and you can pick any of the apps that you wish. Now, in Lyft, we recommend Waze because Waze and Lyft have connected APIs, which means they're connected together. So when there's different functions that you're going to need to learn and to know, they, whatever changes in the Lyft app will reflect in the Waze app. You see, in some cases, you're gonna need to do in the middle of a ride. There's going to be updates for the route. In the case of Lyft, regular Lyft, well, basically what you need is you can use whatever app you want. In the case of Lyft Line, which is when you pick more than one party to do a job, then in that case, you're going to have, it's better to use Waze, because Waze will reflect whatever change happens in the Lyft app because they're connected. Now, if you were using Google Maps, there will be changes. And of course, Lyft is going to give you some warning, or they're gonna give you an alert so that you know that there was a change in your route. And you would, if you were using Google Maps, you would have to go back and press navigation button again so that the change would reflect that when you pick up a second passenger, you can then have the address updated in the Google Maps. With Waze, it happens automatically. You're going to have a sound, a warning, or an alert that is going to tell you that there's a change in your trajectory, and the change is going to reflect on Waze automatically because they're connected. So we recommend Waze. I recommend Waze, and I hope that you can become familiar with it. Use it on your private time. It's a powerful tool that saves time and money in your case, because time is money when you're driving, and it's better for you to just get familiar with it, and it's going to be a great tool for you to use. So that's one of the first things that you need to change when you are driving. Now let's go back to the home screen, and as you can see in the upper middle area of your screen, there's the button that says go online. Let's press this to see what it says. And of course, this system is currently closed here in Ottawa, so it's not going to help us. Now, there's so many other functions that you can use in the home screen, and I suggest that, as I'm doing now, that you start playing with all the functions so you become very familiar with what you have to do. Now, so the first thing that I suggest that you do is, of course, set your GPS, your navigation program. The second thing that I suggest you do is, of course, you are going to, let's go to the vehicle section, and in the vehicle it says the vehicle that is now in use, and this vehicle is the one that you registered in when you signed up for Lyft. In different states and in different markets, it's different, but at least in New York and in New Jersey, you can add another vehicle, because you can use as many vehicles as you want, because you can use as long as your name is on the insurance of that vehicle, then you can use it to drive for Lyft. That is in the United States. In Canada, it might be different, but I suspect right now that it's really the same. Okay, it's not letting me do it. So that is the second thing that I would do. If you have other vehicles that you want to use in your household to drive for Lyft, I suggest that you go ahead and add them there, so that way, whenever it's time for you to drive, all you have to do is take your phone to whichever vehicle you wish to use, and just go straight there and start working. And remember, you can work whenever you want, wherever you want in the city, in the market that you're currently active. So let's go back to the home screen. And the third thing that I would do, right, is I would go to the dashboard, right? And the dashboard is very important for you to be familiar with because all the information of your weekly earnings and the information of your guarantees are going to be there. Um, this is something that you should always check out. I would go to the dashboard and I would go and make sure that my documents, my financial documents, are ready to go so that I get paid. Now, in the case of Canada, you are going to set up your financial information with Lyft, the Lyft hub. So when you go to the Lyft hub, you're gonna give them your information, and they will um, help you arrange your independent contractor situation. Because since everyone that works for Lyft um, and in the United States and Canada is an independent contractor, they need to set up as such. In the United States, it's called 1099, and in Canada, it has another name. So you need to set it up with them. All you need is to give them your information, to give the Lyft, your friendly Lyft representatives or their CAs in the Lyft office. All you need to do is give them your information, and they're gonna set it up for you. Press that button right there, and you're going to press right here where it says high earnings alert. You're going to press that button right there. That way, when you are in a high earnings area, it will alert you so that you can start driving. Um, I'm contested about this because really, in terms of driving, there should always be a schedule, right? And the schedule that you establish is going to be part of your winning strategy. I don't think it's something that you wing. For example, um, I think that when you are new, of course, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna try it out, and you just want to get your first ride in. But once you get a little experience, you're going to start getting a notion and a feeling of where it is that you need to drive, one, and two, what hours you need to drive in those areas. So instead of just going out there and driving whenever it is, eventually you're going to have to develop a winning strategy where you figure out the schedule where you want to drive so that you have the highest earning potential possible. And that is also has to harmonize with your lifestyle. So, for example, in my case, when I started driving, I was I'm a DJ, so I'm a night person. Everything that I do mostly is during the night. So what I did was I drove in the hours when I would be DJing if I was free, for example. So so my hours were from 10 to 3 o'clock in the morning. And for me, it was an excellent time to drive because one, there was no traffic. And I don't like sitting in traffic. Two, there were not too many drivers out there. And three, I live close to a high density area that has a lot of people going to dinner and bars and doing the nightlife. I live in Jersey City, close to downtown Jersey City. There's many restaurants, and a little bit north of this area is a place called Hoboken, which is full of great restaurants, bars, and other nightlife activity. So what I would do is I would do everything at my house, work on the other things that I work, put my son to sleep, and when he was asleep, then it was my time to go to work. So I spend the day with my son, doing those things. And then at 10, it was possible for me, since he was already sleeping, it was possible for me to just, switch hats from being a father to working. And then from 10 to 3 o'clock in the morning was my time to work. And then I would sleep 3 hours, drop him off in school, right? And then come back and sleep, so that by the time he came back from school, I was alert, and I also could go back to work at night. So it was sort of the schedule that I put together, because I wanted to have family time. I wanted to be able to watch my son grow up. So I spend many hours a day um, with him, doing life. And then I could spend the rest of the time doing the other things. I drive, I'm a DJ, I produce music, I do a lot of things. But the thing was that I had my me time with my son, so that I could, because that was the most important part of my life. It's still my most important thing that I do. So from 10 to 3, it was my time. And during the week, it was slow. So I would I would get I would set up how much money I wanted to make for that day. Say I wanted to make $100, then I would, drive till I made $100. It's that's the great thing. You set to see what is it that you want to do, right? And then you go and do it. So I would drive from 10 to 3. And then on the weekends, because on the weekends, most of the time I would DJ, I would go to another country to DJ as well, or to another city in the United States. And, but when I was home, I would, instead of going from 10 to 3, I would wait later, and I would do uh, uh, 11 to 4 or 11 to 5 o'clock in the morning, because then on Fridays and Saturdays it's really heavy traffic. In the middle there's a lull, because people are in the bars or in the restaurants, and they're not going back and forth anywhere. But I would sort of, I would know where is the action, where the action is, and I would go and sit around there, so that I would be able to get these rights. Now remember that you get paid more with distance than with time, um, and that you want to hopefully get these really long rides. Some people like that. I like that at night, because it means that I'm working all the time. But some people like to do many short rides, and that is also good, because then you get the minimum fare, and you do many of those minimum fares, and it works out perfect. So it depends on what your style is, but in my case, that's what I did. I was there at night, and it worked out. um, so you have to establish your winning strategy. I have an example of one of my drivers that he's making a lot of money here in New York, and this is his winning strategy. He wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He does the airports, okay, and then when he does these airports rides, he's busy. It's very good for him. Now at 10 o'clock, he goes to sleep. So he does from 4 to 9 or 4 to 10, depending on if he made the quota of money that he wanted to make. Some people set themselves because they want to make $100 a day or $200 a day, so they make $100 in the morning, and then they do the other 100 on another part of the day. In the case of my friend, he would drive from 4 o'clock in the morning to 10. And then from 10 to 3, he would take a break, do life, whatever, sleep, rest, whatever. He would do his things. And then from 3 to 9, he would drive again. From 4 to 9, he would drive again. That time period, very flexible. Because those that's when the prime time hits, right? And when surge hits, and he prefers to drive when there's promotions, because I don't know if in Canada they have it yet, but there's 3 or 4 different kinds of promotions. Let's list them right here. So it's prime time, which is in Uber Surge, right? They have power driver bonus, okay, which is that you get up to 20% commissions back. If you're a full-time driver, this is the way to go. It's not in every market, but in the markets that they have it, it's excellent. So we already said prime time, power driver bonus. They have something called streaks, which is the same as Uber Boost. And they have power zones. So these are the 4 promotions that they have. The power zones is, for me, the best, because then you can, in the beginning of the week, you can establish what schedule you want to drive, because they tell you when these power zones are going to be. And the power zones are not dynamic. It's not like Surge where it depends on demand. The power zones are static. So if they tell you from 7 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m., there's going to be, and I've seen this, 90% more for the driver, then it means that it's going to be 90% more. And for you to qualify for this is either you have to be in the zone when you get requested, or the passenger needs to be in the zone when he requests the ride. So either way, you're going to get the power zone. Now, let's say that the power zone is less than the prime time, then you get the prime time. So Lyft is going to always give you the best deal on all of these promotions. So if the prime time is better than the power zone, that's what you get. Okay? So I suggest, right? I suggest that you drive only when there's promotions. Otherwise, in some cases, you're driving for charity. I love both of the. I love both the freedom of driving whenever I want, and the freedom of doing it wherever I want. I love that freedom. Those are the 2 things that I love the most of driving for Lyft. But you gotta be smart about when is it that you are going to do it. Let's turn on the light. It's getting dark. So these are sort of some of the, advice, right, that I'm going to give you, especially those new Canadian drivers. This is the advice that I give you for your first couple of days. On the next video, I'm going to do a video it's going to be for the United States and for Canada. So it's going to be, I've been working on it for a long time, explaining how to add your financial information so that you can connect your bank account to Lyft, so that way you can get paid, the direct deposit. In the case of the United States, this is for 1099ers. You get a direct deposit, and the taxes are withheld, or their Lyft will take them out for you. But in the case of Canada, there's a different setup, and I want to make sure that I explain that 100%, because this is very important that you take care not only of your taxes, because you're going to need to also pay some taxes in the United States as 1099ers, but you also have to take care of the taxes that are owed to the government. In the case of the Canadian drivers, that they need to, at certain point, declare this, or have someone deal this for them, arrange this for them, so that they can pay these taxes to the government. So for the next video, this is what we're going to be talking about. I just wanted to give you some, tips and pointers for those new drivers. And remember, this is fun. it's a job. You have to do a good job. This is fun, and the reason that I'm doing this from a car is because this is where you're going to live. So try when you're working, try to make the car as pleasant and pleasurable for you and for the driver as possible. So the nice music, make sure the car is very clean. Make sure you have candy and water and magazines for the passengers, because sometimes passengers, they don't want to talk, they just want to go into their own thing. So you can get like some nice radio station with with jazz and some nice just make it peaceful in your car. So because you're going to spend many hours in there, in your car, you're going to spend many hours in your car. So it's very important that you make this ambiance great for you, and that you do it for the passengers. So this is, I hope you have a great time. And from Ottawa, Canada, this is Luis Salgado that says hi till later. Bye bye.